Morning, you guys, it's Karen and it is Monday and this is my 4th week on holiday, if you like, away from YouTube, and I'm really enjoying it. I have had no days where I've gone, what am I going to do today? I'm a bit bored. You know, that just hasn't happened. There has been days where the whole headache thing has really affected me and I've just needed to sleep, and that's kind of frustrating, and I'm still battling that. It's really it's so frustrating. I had one day where I just basically slept all day. I got up, did my makeup, made Kev his takeaway coffee and got his sandwiches out and whatnot, and then he went and I pretty much went back to bed, and then I was in bed until lunchtime, got up, walked Watson, went back to bed again. Just my head was so bad and it was causing that sort of dizziness and whatnot. So that's been frustrating, but it's also been a relief that on those days there's no pressure of, oh goodness, I've got to edit that video, or I haven't got anything filmed for this week, or, you know, no pressure like that whatsoever. Although I always put pressure on myself, but I've been able to just lie down and not worry about it. So I went to the GP about it again on, I don't know, sometime last week, and I was actually even upset in the morning before going to the GP because I get really anxious going to the doctor. Tell me if you're the same. I feel the pressure of their time now more than ever. I know that they've only got that 10-minute slot, and I often feel like they're rushing you and you can only really talk about one thing, and you know, that kind of way. So I'd gone in and I wanted to ask for some medications. I tried to reduce some, but I want to add them back in again. And then I thought, I'm just going to tell her and say, look, please can you do something else about these headaches, because I'm taking all this codeine and it's not touching it, and I'm wasting my life away by sleeping, you know. So I did, and I'd said to her about getting a scan because I saw this doctor years ago that was my favourite doctor ever, but then she moved practices, and she was going to send me for a scan. I think it was an MRI scan of my head and neck. I didn't have it at the time because I was working in the NHS research facility at the hospital where the scan would have been. But we had this new scanner, and one of the researchers was looking for people in our department. He was chatting to us and asking if anybody would be prepared to come and have a head and neck scan to calibrate his scanner for the research that he was going to be doing. So I offered and said to the GP, oh, don't worry about it because I'm actually getting one for research. But what I don't know whether I was new and hadn't realised or didn't think about it, was I did get that done. I did have the scan, you know, have my head in a cage, etc. But it was a research scan, and research scans are not reported clinically most of the time, meaning that they will look for whatever the research question is. And on this one, it was something about function in the brain. So they wouldn't be looking, no radiologist would have looked at my scan to see if there was any abnormalities in the base of my neck or anything like that, you know. So I mentioned a scan to the GP last week, and she just said, oh, well, you know, an x-ray won't tell us much. And I was thinking, well, I wasn't really talking about an x-ray, I had said scan. But she didn't seem keen, and I said to her, I know it's coming from my neck, but she just wants to do more blood tests, which I just think is bizarre. But this is the first time I've seen this doctor about this issue. I've seen another guy who, again, just did blood tests, and I think I saw another woman about this same sort of headache, tiredness, etc, etc, and they also did blood tests, and every time they come back with the same thing. But I understand that she's got to go through her process. You know, it's the first time I presented it to her, so hopefully she'll get the blood tests. They probably won't show anything. They might show a bit of low iron, and then I'll say to her again, can you please consider sending me for a scan, because I just feel like there's an abnormality in the way in my sort of neck area. It could be wrong, it could just be posture, but you know, I've been having massages, I've been to physio, I've done a lot of that in this last month, and it's not really making that much of a difference. I still can't do anything. So if I sit at this computer for more than 5 minutes, it makes me dizzy. If I pick up heavy bags, if I even just used a sealant in the bathroom, because we've got a new tap, so Kev had to take the sideboard off, and I said I would seal it in, and I did that, and because I had my neck kind of to the side like that, that was it again, making me dizzy, and I needed to lie down and whatnot, you know. So yeah, hopefully that will happen. If not, we're thinking about going privately for a second opinion, because I'm sure I've told you this story before with my knee. I went to the NHS when it started, when I started limping, which was when I was 33, so what's that, 13 years ago? and got referred to a, what is he? He's a surgeon. He's an, can't think of the word, orthopedic surgeon, and he said, oh yeah, it's just the way you walk, there's nothing really we can do, and that was that. So we decided at the time to, sorry, that's my printer turning off, I need to print something for my dad. We decided to go privately, and I made an appointment with an orthopedic surgeon at a private hospital, and it cost £250. And I turned up, and it was actually the same guy that I had seen in the NHS. So a lot of the NHS doctors work in private practice also. And he just went, oh yeah, I can see exactly what's wrong with it. We can operate on that and fix it. And it was just so bizarre to me because, and I didn't say anything. I don't know why I didn't say anything. I was just so delighted to have a solution, you know, suggest your email tracks, blah, blah, blah. But I'd seen that same guy in the NHS. And once I paid for it, it was like, yes, there's a solution. This is what it is. This is what's wrong with you. So we might well do that with my neck if possible. But scans and stuff will be a lot more expensive. Anyway, that's what's going on with my head. So I'm not very far forward with that, but I have got a lot of things done in this 4 weeks, and that in itself makes me feel happy, you know, because you guys know I'm always about lists and what I've got to do, etc. And I have finished the patio, so I cleaned it all several times. I put loads and loads of coats on it of this oil stain, like decking oil, and I tried different machines, and then one broke, and I tried using just a sponge thing. It didn't work. I ended up with this sort of paint sprayer, and it worked really, really well. So that's the back decking done. I'm actually not going to do the front because we've been in this house for 8 years and I only cleaned it once, and it wasn't even that dirty. So I don't think I need to put the oil on there because it's expensive and needs quite a few coats. So I'm happy with the back. I'm going to leave the front, and so that's that off the list. Done my tax assessment, tax return I've done, got my car valeted at the weekend. You know, all these little jobs that were just, I never seem to have time to do, have been done. There's still a few things I need to do. I need to book a service for my car. I need to get my car serviced, but then it will need to get an MOT, and yeah, lots of other kind of boring things. So I think I'm going to start doing videos again next week. I don't know whether I'm going to try and film something this week and edit it to get it up next week, or whether next week I'm going to start back on the editing. I'm really not sure. And like I said, I've enjoyed my time off so much that I'm torn about YouTube because I really miss it, and I'm really looking forward to getting kind of dolled up for videos, because I put lashes on for videos, I put earrings on, a necklace, you know, I do my hair differently. I sort of do things that I wouldn't do in everyday life when I'm just, you know, walking Watson or at home, because we don't go out that much. There's not really, and even if we do, I wouldn't tend to put on false lashes. And that's what I've loved about YouTube. It's almost an excuse or a reason to glam up. And so I'm really looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to doing a video, although saying that I haven't researched anything because I've been reading my own sort of books. In fact, I need to tell you about that. But yeah, I don't know whether I'm going to film this week or next week because I've got a really busy week this week. Today I'm getting my nails done because, as you can see, they are very short, but I've grown them out. In terms of the damage, you can probably see that it's all just right at the end of the nail. So I will trim them today and take off the nail polish that I've got on. And I've got an appointment this afternoon, and I'm taking Watson with me. It is a dog-friendly salon, so I'm just delighted. I'm going to take him an empty peanut butter pot for him to sit and lick while he's there. And I don't know how it's going to go. I don't know how he'll find it. Hopefully it's not too noisy or too strong smells, or that's the only two things I can think might bother him, you know. But if he can find a comfortable spot to lie next to me with, he'll probably want his head on my foot so that he can go to sleep knowing that if I move he'll wake up. And if that goes well, I might have a haircut there next time. So anyway, that's this afternoon, so that'll be really interesting. I'm getting acrylic nails. I'm sort of swithering between getting a French manicure and a ombre manicure. I've seen this ombre manicure that looks really, really nice, but I do really like a nice clean French manicure as well, so I might go for that. Not going to have them too long, I'm going to have them quite short. I need to get my pictures together to show the woman exactly what I want. So I hope that that goes okay, because it's not somebody I've ever been to. I don't know anybody that's been there, but there's a couple of pictures up. She's a new person at the salon and they seem okay. They all had nail polish on. There's not been any French manicure, and a French manicure I feel like really shows up the talent of the person doing the nails, because you can't just cover it with nail polish, you know what I mean? They need to look perfect, so that's going to be interesting. Then tomorrow I am going to my dad's. He has been in Derby for the last 4 weeks. I haven't seen him, so I'm going to go to see him, catch up with him, and talk mostly about the wedding. But I'm also doing Eve, his fiance's makeup. I said to her, I thought, you know what, let me give it a try. What's the worst that can happen? Let me try it and see if I can do it how she likes it. So the only thing is, she was saying that she likes bold eyeliner and she likes my eye makeup, but I just don't think, sometimes I don't think it's appropriate for my age, let alone her age. You know, she's nearly 80. So I'm not going to do it exactly as she's asked, because I think it might look a bit bizarre. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, so I'm doing that tomorrow, and I also need to speak to my dad about invitations, because he had asked, bless him, I think he thinks his wedding is going to be like our wedding, and that's what he sort of seems to be basing things on. But we had a lot more people at our wedding. You know, we had 100 people coming in the evening and we had 35 in the day. He's got 24 in the day, and there isn't really an evening thing. He was saying that could we do the invitations or could we do the stationery? But at the time we had a specific printer that we no longer have in order to print the stationery. So I don't know. I'm going to have to speak to him about that and say that I could maybe buy some pre-formed stuff, but you know, it's going to be quite expensive to actually make the stationery ourselves now that we don't have a printer, because Kev was saying, oh, well, we can go to somebody online, you know, like Vistaprint or whatever. But yeah, I think it'll be pretty expensive, but we'll see what he says. So what I was thinking was, if he's happy with online invitations, Kev could design that. So that would be really, really groovy, save all the printing costs, and yeah, just make it easier for everybody, I feel like, you know. And then everybody can choose whether or not they reply with a nice little RSVP, or whether they just reply by email saying, yes, I can make it. So that's tomorrow, that's Tuesday. So today nails, tomorrow my dad. And it doesn't sound like much, but it takes up the day, because it's now 9 o'clock. So I'm going to do this video. I want to do a little bit more of, I'm doing another course on that Udemy called The Secret. I'm not exactly sure what the full title is going to be, but it's about the secret and the law of attraction, etc. Because I didn't feel that people were receptive on either my beauty or my doggy channel, which is fair enough, but there were some people interested. So I thought, well, it's a course I can put on there for a real, you know, low price, £20 or something, and then if people are interested, they can go and watch it on there. So I need to do that, and then I'll be taking Watson for his walk, because that takes 2 to 3 hours. Then we'll quickly come back here, I'll get changed and then go off to have my nails done, come home. Watson will probably sleep a little bit more, and then we'll do some training, his final walk, and then Kev will be home and it's dinner. You know, the days, I'm surprised how quickly the days go. I don't know how I ever had time to work. I've said that before, I know. So anyway, that's today, tomorrow. Then Wednesday I'm going to the opticians in the afternoon, finally. It's something we kept putting off just because of money, because with Watson's vet, with him being really ill, we spent nearly £1,000. It was ridiculous, the costs, and we weren't getting it back from insurance, but we've now got a lot of that back from insurance. Plus Kev's been paid, and he got a pay rise. This isn't his new roll payment, that'll be next month, but it's just made us a little bit more relaxed now about money. So I was like, you know what, I need to get new glasses. I'm due to go to the optician, so I'm going to take these, which are just the cheapest ones I've got, and get another lens in these, and I'm going to also take my Prada ones and get another lens in those. I definitely need a higher strength, because in my Prada glasses I still can't read things, so I definitely need to increase that. So that's Wednesday afternoon, I'll be leaving Watson for that. Thursday afternoon I'll be leaving Watson again. I've got a haircut booked. Didn't realise how long it was since I'd had my haircut, and can you see the difference in the colour of my hair? I'm not sure what I think I used. I've got this, I'm going to talk about this. In the first video I'm going to do on YouTube is going to be titled I'm Back and a Few Favourites, and just sort of chatting about, you know, what I did. And one of the things is this is the colourless hair colour remover. So I used this and I wasn't impressed at all in terms of it stank. It says on the front, new fresh fragrance, and I thought, you're kidding me, fresh fragrance? And it says it's got no ammonia, no bleach, safe and gentle, but it was so chemical that it was so bad that that night after using that, I didn't sleep. I felt sick, because every time I turned over I could smell this sort of sulphury smell coming from my hair, and I was like, this is awful. So I got up the following day and washed my hair first thing, and just like scrubbed it with a deep cleansing shampoo, and also put tons of conditioner on it, because my hair felt so dry and dull after using it. And I've got the Max Condition one, so it had a conditioner in it. And I said to Kev, is this the colour of my hair? I said, because it looked to me kind of, it looked dull, it looked very brown, it didn't look like it had any red in it. And I was like, you know, have I been using a wash in, wash out for so long that I haven't realised my hair isn't that red? Or I was just totally confused. It didn't look in good condition. I said it felt very dry. So anyway, I used this deep cleanse shampoo, put tons of conditioner on it and blow dried it, and it looked much better. And I feel like now it needs a wash at the minute, because that was a couple of days ago, and I've been putting a lot of product on my hair because it feels really, like, you know, at the bottom it feels really tangly, and it definitely needs a cut. But I feel like it's back to more like my natural colour, but I'm just not sure what I think of my natural colour. I don't know whether it's just that I'm not used to it, you know. I still just feel like it's not quite as vibrant. Although people on Instagram, if you saw my Instagram post, most people said that they prefer my natural colour. Anyway, so I'm just getting a cut on Thursday, and I'm thinking about having this layer taken away. So having a bob, but having it shaped up at the sides, as opposed to having that long layer. Just, yeah, I don't know. I need to look at some pictures before I go in on Thursday and see exactly what I want done. So that's Thursday. And then Friday morning, I've got bloods with the nurse. I had to wait until Friday to have them done because I was taking iron myself. And so the doctor said, can you just stop taking iron for a week and then we'll test your blood, because she thinks I might be low in iron, so that makes sense. I kind of intended to do that originally, but then I had too much going on and I'd cancelled my nurse appointment. So I need to go on Friday. So I've got a feeling that this week is just going to fly by, like I said, and it's good because I feel like, right, this is my last week off. Let's get all of these appointments done, you know, get my hair done, get all of these done. I don't know what I'm going to do about my nails going forward. We'll see what it's like at this shop. And then I can hopefully concentrate a bit more on YouTube. But I have realised that if I want to continue on writing the book the skincare book that I told you guys about, then I do need to do less on YouTube, because I simply can't do everything. I've realised not doing YouTube that my day is full, you know. Between Watson takes up probably half a day, and then doing the other little bits and pieces that I want to do, like things on my doggy YouTube channel, like this book, like the secret course, and just general kind of house stuff, you know, and life stuff, and also with catering to my illnesses, and Watson's still quite ill, you know, that it's difficult, and I'm kind of expecting too much from myself. So that's been a good lesson for me. So I think I am going to try and do at least one video a week on YouTube. I'm not going to start off by dedicating a day to it. You know how I was talking about a schedule? I'm not going to do that because I don't need that pressure. Certainly just going back and seeing how it fits in with everything else. So I'm just going to do one as and when I can. But try and do at least one a week, maybe two, but no more than that. I'm not going to be doing that every other day sort of thing until I've finished this book, which could be years, you know. Hopefully I'll get one part of it done. Have I got a deadline? I've not really got a deadline, but I would hope that I'd have it done in the next couple of months and that it will be up and ready on Amazon, because I'm just going to self-publish all the little sections of the book, which will be a book within itself on a subject. So like I'm going to do one on oils, one on acids. The acids one will be out first, I think. One on maybe preservatives, one on hydrators, that kind of thing. And then once they're all on Amazon Kindle, at the end I will approach a publisher about putting them all together in one big book. So yeah, I want to dedicate some time to that, you know. So we had a very interesting weekend. On Saturday, Kev was golfing, so it was just myself and Watson, and his friend Lola was back from Thailand. Their parents were in Thailand, and Lola was with a dog sitter from where she goes to daycare. She was with a sitter, and so he hadn't seen her for weeks, because we hadn't seen them for about a week or so before they went. So that was really nice. He was very, very excited to see her, but he still wasn't that playful with her. We're not sure at the moment what's wrong with Watson, because there's nothing specific. He's sort of 90% better since his illness, but not 100%, and they did tell us it would take months for him to heal, but we're not sure if it's just him growing up and not really, he doesn't seem that interested in dogs anymore, because he was sort of that way before he got ill, but then we don't know how long he was ill before we actually were aware, if that makes any sense. So we're not really sure with Watson. We're still trying to get his digestion back on track, and that's not going great. But But anyway, he wasn't that playful with her. He was super excited to see her, but then had a little play, and that was kind of it. So that was on the beach. And so I decided that I'm not going to take him to the beach anymore because he just isn't interested in the beach. And Lola is, she loves the beach. And so we mostly meet at the beach because although he doesn't enjoy the smells at the beach, he was always playing with Lola. But now that he's not, he was just dawdling along beside me because he likes to be in the greenery, you know, and if he's in the greenery, he'll be off sniffing over here, over there, and that's his enjoyment. And so I just feel like it wasn't enjoyable for him. So if we meet her, it will be in a greenery area so they can maybe have a little play, but the rest of the time he can go off and sniff, you know. Sorry, I keep wiping my lips, but I've got this lip, it's the Kiko lip balm on top of my Stila liquid lipstick, and for some reason I can feel it kind of gathering at the edges. I don't know why. Oh, just wiped it on myself. So that was Saturday pretty much. Kev came back, he said golf was okay, and then yesterday was a really busy day because I had the car being valeted in the morning, 8 o'clock on a Sunday morning. I was like, what was I thinking? So the guy did that, and then we left immediately to go to Falkirk, where we were sort of interviewing, I guess you'd say, a daycare. And that was interesting because she had 2 golden retrievers herself and she was looking after a Weimaraner. Is it a Weimaraner? No, what's the other one? What's the smaller one? A Vizsla. She had a Vizsla there who was so funny. I mean, I just loved them all. I was in doggy heaven. But Watson wasn't keen on the Vizsla because she kept coming up to him and trying to get him to play, and he kept saying to her, no, leave me alone. And he spent a lot of the time whining and sort of clinging to myself and Kev. And so that wasn't nice to see, but the woman was great. The woman was absolutely fabulous. And she was saying, you know, he's in a new environment and he'll be fine if he's left with us, you know, and has time to get to know her. But I don't know. I said yes, and I'd actually emailed her when I got home and said, yes, I'm happy to move to the next stage. She said she was happy to move to the next stage. She had no concerns with Watson. And the next stage is to leave him there for a half a day on a weekend day. But I don't know, because I know that he was like that with another daycare that we used that was a home from home situation, Lisa, and that I would have loved to have stayed there, but the only reason we didn't stay there was because Kev moved job. And he was exactly the same, but once he'd been there a few times, he loved it, and I feel like that might be the case here. But it's just that initial thought of dropping him off, and he was already didn't want to be there, he was whining and whatnot, and then we're going to leave him there, and I know he's going to look at us like, what the hell, I don't want to stay here, you know, what are you doing to me, kind of thing. But it's one of those things that's got to be done in order for him to get to enjoy it, you know. And I did say to Kev, I'm not actually sure that I even need it now. I said, you know, I'm managing his walks, and they are difficult on some days when I've got a headache. Like even now I've got a headache coming on, and I don't know whether it will come on or just go away. We'll see. I'll do my physio exercises after this video and see how I get on. And a lot of the time I'm having to drag myself around if I'm really not feeling well, but nothing will solve that. You know, if I had a daycare, I couldn't wake up in the morning and go, can you take him today? Because this woman is fully booked, but from September we'll have a Tuesday free. And so that's what we were thinking, one day a week we'd put him in daycare, kind of for his benefit, so that he has a day where he's in a pack of dogs, but also for me. But I was saying to Kev, I don't know if I even need it. You know, I'm managing to leave him, I'm managing to get things done. But he said he thinks that's just because it's new to me at the moment and I'm not doing YouTube. And he said, once you start doing YouTube again, and, you know, he said, I think it would just be nice for you to have a whole day to yourself once a week, and it'll be nice for Watson, etc., etc. I'm just not sure. I don't know. I'm just not sure. It will be nice to have a day to myself, but I wish I had somebody that I knew that could take him, you know, that I could totally trust, because I'm never going to trust a stranger after what's gone on with, you know, the daycare that we left him in. That was a commercial daycare and this is a home from home one, so it's a bit different, but there's still an element of trust, you know, and you just don't know what's gone on and what's going on and how much he enjoys it. You know, they can't talk. So anyway, that was yesterday. I need to wipe my mouth with tissue, excuse me. So anyway, that was that, and we came home, and then it was like 4 o'clock because we were there for an hour and a half. We'd gone for a walk nearby, and Kev wasn't feeling great. He had a sore back and a sore tummy, and I wanted to answer an email from somebody that had emailed me about dogs. She wants to get a puppy from the same place we got Watson from, and she was asking about the early neutering and spaying, and I wanted to reply to her with a massive long reply and say, firstly, I don't know about the neutering and spaying. It's not something I researched because I didn't really there's too much to research when you're getting a puppy. You cannot research every aspect of it. And we were new dog owners, and so we asked the breeders, and they told us that the vet said is better for them at a young age. They recover quickly, so we accepted their word. But now I'm never going to get a puppy again. You know, I would only get rescues, and so it's not really an issue. So anyway, I replied to this woman and I was saying to her that I would actually never go to a breeder again. I'd go to a rescue place, and I was giving her the link to two different rescue places. And I thought, well, let me just see if there's any new dogs on these rescue places that I do often look at. So I had a look at one that was a doodle one, and there's this little girl called Lucy. She's a cross between a Shih Tzu and a Cavapoo, and she just looked adorable. And I read everything about her and was like, oh my God, she was looking for an urgent foster home. Kev and I have talked about having a second dog, which you'll know if you've been with me for a while, for so long, but we're just not sure what Watson would make of it, because Watson is not, he is polite to other dogs. He's not interested in playing, or very rarely interested in playing, even with his mates, if you like I said, with Lola on Saturday, with his friend Buddy this morning. He's just not that bothered, and we're not sure if that's him not feeling well or whether he just isn't a playful dog. He just likes to be left alone by dogs. If they constantly want to play with him, it bothers him. But I think he likes the company of dogs. I feel like, because he gets really excited to see his pack in the morning, to see Lola, to see Buddy, you know, etc, etc. So it would be mostly selfish getting a second dog, because I would want the cuddles and, you know, that kind of thing, and I'm not sure how it would work. And so we never ever come to a conclusion other than let's not do it. Then we talk about it again, and then we see somebody on foster, you know. And so I saw this girl and I went through to speak to Kev, and I was like, oh my God, look at this girl. And he was like, should we just do it? And I was like, you know what, why not? Because she needed a foster home, not a rehoming at that point. And the thinking was, unless we just do this, we're not going to know. But you don't want to just do it and rehome a dog and then go, you know, actually it's not working out for us. Watson isn't keen. Whereas with fostering, that's the whole point. You're only doing it temporarily. And anyway, so I filled in the application form and applied, and the woman phoned me and we had a long conversation yesterday. And sadly, it's not going to work out. But I think that that's right, because once I'd applied, I kind of started panicking. I took Watson out for a walk and I was like, okay, how am I going to take them out for their local walk? Because I normally have Watson on an extending lead. Kev never uses an extending lead, but I use it in the evening because there's a lot of roads around here and we don't always go up to the end where there is a bit where they can be let off, because there's barbecues and stuff up there. So the evening he just gets a half an hour walk around here. So this allows him to sniff about. To try and have two on extending leads, I think just wouldn't work. And you could have one of these splitting leads, but then that doesn't give them much freedom from each other, you know. So I was like, oh, what about that? What about if she can't walk as far as Watson can? And there was all these things in my head, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I've done the right thing. And I thought, you know, maybe this is the catalyst, would that be the right word? Maybe this is the thing that tells me it's not the right thing, because now I'm panicking and going, oh, I don't know whether we can do this or not, you know. Anyway, the woman phoned, and like I said, I don't think it's going to work out, because the dog, they think, was hit by men and she's terrified of men. And she said, I'd be happy for you to foster, but I don't think you'd be interested, because she'd be barking constantly at Kev. And, you know, we have to consider the neighbours firstly, because there's no point if we get a dog and then the neighbours are complaining, and, you know, that's not going to work. With my headaches, that would be another thing that would really, really bother me. And we already had a dog like that stay over. Actually, no, he didn't stay in the end. It was the other. We had two Coopers over. It was the other one that stayed over. But this one, he barked when you were out walking. He would bark if you stopped, because he wanted you to keep on moving. If you were at home and he wanted attention, he would bark, and it was just head splitting. It really was. It was no fun at all. And I remember actually Kev took him for a walk because Watson was getting really stressed out by it. And so, you know, that would be a big issue. But the biggest thing was, and it was Kev that said this actually, he said, I don't think it's fair to her. If she is terrified of men, she really needs to be in a female only household with the opportunity to get used to men, you know, maybe meet men in different situations, but not to live with somebody that she's terrified of. And I thought, yeah, that's true. There would be nothing worse if she's terrified of men than living with a man constantly, you know, and she lives with a woman at the moment, but the woman goes away a lot and her son stays to look after the dogs, and she's not doing well at all. She's completely barking and going crazy at the guy. She sort of, they do some training with her and she warms up to the guy, but then the guy leaves the room or leaves the house and comes back, and then it's all over again. She starts barking, etc. So I don't think that's for us, but like I said, I think it's the right decision. The only thing is now this woman is very, she's like, oh, you sound perfect, and would you consider rehoming? And you know, she's really sort of latched onto us as a possibility, but it's, I don't know whether that was just a sign, like I said, that we aren't ready for a second dog. I don't know, so we'll see what happens. We'll see what comes up and take it day by day, if you like, and see what happens from that point of view. So that was last night, and that was the weekend gone. We actually went out the weekend before. I don't think I told you guys. We went out for dinner, which was really nice, with Watson. And it's my birthday next week. It's my birthday on Sunday the 3rd of June. So we're considering going out. And this is funny and crazy, I suppose. When we went, you know, to Glen Eagles, to the hotel, and we tried to leave Watson in the room and he was whining, we both sort of said, right, this is ridiculous. We need to go out for a couple's dinner, if you like. And so we promised ourselves that we'd go out on my birthday without Watson, because neither of us think he's going to be bothered by it. It's just us that don't really want to leave him, you know. And so we said, right, we'll go out for dinner. But we've been looking for places and not really finding anywhere that we're desperate to go, because there's a lot of places that accept dogs, and I just would find it really weird to go to a place that accepted dogs without taking him with us, and Kev would as well. And then, like I said, last week we went to this new place that is dog friendly, and Watson was just so good. He just slept the whole way through. Well, we gave him his empty peanut butter pot at the beginning, but like, he may as well not have been there. We didn't really notice him. So I said to Kev, well, you know, I don't feel like it's not like we're not having time together, because it's not like we're having to pay attention to him. And Kev said, yeah, I know what you mean. And neither of us want to go out without him. So I think we're kind of going back on what we said, and we'll end up going to one of our local places that we know accept dogs, that we know we like the food. And I said to Kev, I kind of want to spend my birthday with him. You know, I don't want to spend my birthday doing something that makes me feel uncomfortable, that Watson will cope with, but he likes to be with us, you know. So life is too short. Let's just do what we enjoy. So I don't think we're going to go out without him, you know. I know that there's neighbours that would keep an eye on him and whatnot, but like I said, we'd both prefer to be with him. So I think that's what we're going to do. I don't know what I'm doing in the day on my birthday. I sort of feel like I don't want to celebrate my birthday. I don't know why. This year, more than any other year, I just feel like I want it to just pass by. I don't know whether I'm going to be 46 or 47, to be honest. 72 I was born, and this is 2018. So 46, I'm going to be 46, is that right? Yeah, I think so, 46. And it's nothing to do with the age, really. I just don't want people to, I feel like there's too much pressure. Like, it's your birthday, so what are you going to do? Well, I don't know what I want to do. I want it to just be a normal Sunday. But I'll feel like I've got to do something special because it's my birthday, if that makes any sense. And Kev has taken the Monday off, and I think I'll much more enjoy the Monday, actually. On the Monday, I've got a massage, and I don't know what else I'm doing on the Monday, but I'll probably go shopping or something like that, you know. But the Sunday, I think we'll probably just end up going for a family walk or something like that. Anyway, I've been rambling for long enough. So I said I wasn't sure what I was doing, but I like coming and chatting to you guys and telling you what's going on. So I hope that you guys are all well. Let me know what's going on with you. I do like to know what's going on in your lives. And thank you for listening to me. And I'll speak to you soon.